Good evening. My name is Sean Webb, and I'm the Director of Community Engagement for Desert Sands Unified School District. And we're here for a special edition of Classroom Conversations, an evening edition where we call it Shadow Hills High School Parent University. And we've got all of us here. We've got counselors from Shadow Hills High School. If you're a counselor from Shadow Hills High School, give us a wave. There we go. If you're a school administrator from Shadow Hills High School, give us a wave. Perfect. And then if you are visiting from a university or college that's not K-12, please raise your hand. And there we go. We got a great group of people here that are going to talk about everything going on after high school with Shadow Hills. And Dr. K, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to exit some people here. Maybe you want to take it over here for a second while I get us all set up for the next phase here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I want to welcome everybody and thank everybody for coming to Knights Parent University. This is our October edition, and this is the college kickoff month. So we thought we would do it right by having our very own Shadow Hills High School counselors talk about some of the most important events and things that the seniors and all of our Knights need to keep in mind. After they present, we will then have our local College of the Desert partners who will be talking about CTE in college, one of my favorite things, and also how to matriculate into the college life. After COD, please don't hang up because we will then have CSUSB. So we're going to have our representative talking about our very own Palm Desert campus and what that means to us in the Valley. And then finally, we're going to conclude with our private online university, which is Grand Canyon University. And they will be sharing some tips for how to get ready for the next step.
This is fantastic. You know, I got to tell you, Dr. K and Mr. Fajardo and the rest of your team here, you guys were the first ones to do one of these webinars with our students in July, and it was fantastic. You guys had a lot of viewers for that. Now you guys are the first ones to do Parent University with them, so I think it's fantastic and what you guys are offering your families. Without from anything else from me, let's go ahead. I'll let you guys drive the show.
So much.
And Sean, I just want to say thank you once again to you, to the foundation for allowing us this opportunity to bring this such important information to our community. In fact, I'm in my daughter's home today. She's in college, and this is her little college room. So you can see she's all into the, Namaste stuff, which is so needed for a lot of our college kids during distance learning. But I just wanted to thank all of our presenters this evening, those of us joining us virtually for tonight's Knights Parent University, and a special shout out to our two counselors, Mr. Ramirez, Mrs. Garcia Munoz, and of course, our assistant principal, Dr. Kalkowski. So thank you. Let's get it started.
Thank you.
Yeah, here we go.
Thank you.
And we've got some slides here, I believe. Dr. K, you're going to be sharing your screen with me?
Yeah. And
perfect.
Okay.
And I'd like to point out to everybody that not only is this live right now, but this will be on the Facebook page for you guys. I'm sorry, it'll be on the Desert Sands Educational Foundation Facebook page. So they can always scroll back to it. It's actually on our Twitter page, as well as our YouTube, and then obviously on your guys' YouTube page. So you can always direct them back to the link.
Can you see that there, Sean?
Let's see here. I don't see your screen.
Aw. Let's try this one. Let's try that one.
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
There we go. Take it away, Mr. Ramirez and Ms. Munoz.
Thank you, Dr. K. Thank you, Mr. Webb. So I'm joined by Mrs. Munoz, who's going to be helping me here. And so for us, what we wanted to really point out was that we really are aiming to make sure that all our students are college, career, and community ready, which is part of our vision in the counseling department. And if you can click on the other slide of Dr. K, some of the things that we want to talk about, what we're doing for our seniors, especially right now during the college application season, trying to get them ready for their post-high school goals, is one of them is to meet with our seniors one-on-one, and we're doing our senior evaluations. So what we do is we discuss their graduation status, their A through G eligibility. And, we ask them, what are your post-high school goals? Are you planning on attending a CSU or UC, COD? And then, we have those conversations with them. So as to what the next steps need to be.
Right.
We use California colleges to try to help them out as much as possible through that process as well in matching their major and their college. The other thing we do is we just finished our senior guidance lessons, so we actually did them virtually. We went into the English classes as we normally would do, but this time it was virtual. And so we got to talk to them about the different university systems, financial aid, and things to look forward to. And one of the things we also discussed was for them to make sure that they're looking out for our college and career guest speaker series. Mm-hmm. We're posting these now on our Twitter, a new Twitter handle, on Google Classroom. And we had CBU come talk to our students. We have UTI coming up next week on Monday, and so much more. And so please check those out and take advantage of the fact that, you know, our community members are still willing to come out and speak to our students and give them that important information on this is why this school might be the right fit for you. And so that's doing during our flex time, by the way. Perfect. So we do have some workshops also that are aimed at our seniors. CSUSB is actually going to has partnered with us, and we're really grateful to them. So that's coming up on the 13th and the 15th at 1:30. So they'll give campus highlights and actually help our students out with the CSU application. So we're really grateful for that. And then next Wednesday on the 14th, on College Kickoff Day, the counseling department will also be holding various workshops. We're going to be doing FAFSA and the California Dream Act for one. Mrs. Munoz will be handling our scholarship workshop, and Mrs. Sexton will be helping students construct their responses to the UC personal insight questions. Right. And so again, a lot of this information is on our Google Classroom. And so we really ask our students to make sure that they're checking their Google Classroom and their email. And now that we have our Twitter handle, to be checking Twitter.
Fantastic.
It's great. You know, during this time period, I'm finding that communication is key. And it's fantastic that not only you guys delivering this in this format, but you deliver it on your website, you deliver it in Google Classroom, and then also in social media for Twitter. So it's all about accessible points, and you guys are definitely doing that. So I commend you guys all for that.
Thank you, Mr. Webb.
Well, good evening. I'm Mrs. Munoz. And so with all the information that we give our students during guidance lesson and senior evaluation, we also provide them the support for the financial aid application, so the FAFSA and the DREAM Act, and as well for all and any college applications. We do this Thursdays during flex time, so the students are welcome to come join us, and we will support them with any of the questions they have. That's also a time that we will support scholarship questions and help with the senior scholarship portfolio.
Fantastic. Speaking of.
So the students are asked to build a scholarship portfolio. And so basically this portfolio is viewed by our local sponsors who wish to assist our students financially in their education. And so the portfolio kind of resembles a resume. So it starts giving them that skill on how to put a resume together, and showcase themselves. So with the portfolio, once they turn it in, it will be turned in electronically. Our sponsors will take a look at it and go through it to make their selection. And many of our sponsors do also request an interview with our students. So when we support our students on our flex time with this, we go over interview questions, how to interview with our sponsors, how to construct that essay for the portfolio. We provide that support for them as well, in preparing them to go out into, their journey after high school. And just a quick note with the scholarship portfolio, it is serves a purpose for some of our local, but there is other means of scholarships that are out there, national, that our scholarship portfolio doesn't fit, but we also help the students prepare for those as well.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And here are some resources where students are able to look up information. They're our Shadow Hills website, definitely parent views available to all parents, and then follow us on our new Twitter handle.
All right. So just a quick comment, if I may, please, Ms. Munoz, on the scholarships. It seems that I hear every year so much money goes untapped that students say to themselves, oh, I could never get that. Somebody else will get it. I'm not even going to try. Can you speak to that a little bit? Because I hear once in a while when a kid finally says, I'm going to do this, it matters.
No, absolutely. I'm going to be honest. It is tedious to sit and and apply to these scholarships, but definitely don't be discouraged, because there's times where students have that mentality. So some of these scholarships go untouched. Nobody fills them out, and sometimes it's just a matter of a simple essay that needs to be written and turned in, and you could very well be that person. Another thing that students need to look for is sometimes they disregard the $100, the $200, the $500, the smaller ones, and they want to go for the $1,000 scholarships. So some of those little ones don't get any students applying to them, and so you got a lot of those little ones, they end up building up to a bigger dollar sign there. So absolutely, I encourage students to apply, to make that time, sit down and apply. And like I said, definitely we're there to support any of the questions they have and guide them through that application process of the scholarships.
Thank you so much, Ms. Munoz. So one more time, just for clarification, I see the emails that come through with those scholarships, and I'm so excited. Where would the students exactly go to make sure that they're seeing all of those scholarships coming in?
They need to go to the class of 2021. That's where we post our scholarships. So they all should have access to that class. And so I posted some today. And so they will be able, if they access that, they'll be able to see the scholarships that we're posting.
Thank you. The world of Google Classroom. It's wonderful. Thank you both so much.
Okay. Now, is this where we're going to have COD come on?
I believe so. So I'm going to stop sharing for just a minute.
Okay.
Mr. Webb, while I go ahead, and then I'm going to get the CTE. Now, Mr. Simo, do you want to speak first, sir? Oh, is he on there?
I can bring him on right now.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much, Mr. Ramirez and Ms. Munoz. Well done.
Okay, we'll bring on Mr. Simo. We'll exit the Mr. Ramirez here.
And thank you, everybody, for hanging in there with us. Hi, Mr. Simo.
Hello. I don't have a preference, so I'm not sure if Anna has a preference. Either way, I think it's fine.
Well, sir, I have your website, and okay. I can pull that up, and then I'll share, and you let me know what to click and so on. So let's see. I'm just going to go to the main page. Yep.
So Dr. K, Mr. Simo also has his screen available for him to share too.
I'll be okay.
So I could just pull that right up here.
Oh, then I'm going to let you do it. Fantastic. I'm going to sit back and relax.
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Shadow Hills parents for being here, and faculty and staff, thank you for having us here. I'm one of the counselors at College of the Desert, and I've been there for quite a bit, about 20 years now. But I'm also a parent of two Shadow Hills High School students, graduates.
Oh.
My daughter and my son both attended Shadow Hills High School, and I am very, very proud of all the work that was done there. I also want to say that I'm just not an employee of the College of the Desert. I'm also a client. So both my students have attended College of the Desert, and my daughter, she already graduated from Cal State Long Beach. So I hope that today we'll have a lot of we're going to have a lot of really good information for all of you. And so I just wanted to mention that there's a lot of opportunities at College of the Desert, and that's really what I want to start with. College of the Desert has a lot of the traditional programs that would be offered through a lot of the vocational schools. But we also have most of the programs that would be offered through a four-year university. So for your children, your students, there is something here for them. I, of course, as a parent, would normally want to encourage students to do an associate's degree and transfer on to a four-year university. But I also understand that, that's not necessarily what's needed or what works for every single student. But I just wanted to mention that we have a little something for everyone. And so COD is a great place to start. One of the benefits of attending community college And as I mentioned, my kids attended COD and my daughter graduated already from Cal State. It's the cost. That's the number one. I can tell you that when my daughter attended College of the Desert, I was paying zero. When the last 2 years that she did at Cal State Long Beach, it was an average of about 2,500 a month. And
Oh
we
my.
paid most of that cash, but we also did some loans. And so that is, of course, one of the major benefits. I do know that there are a lot of vocational schools that will come to Shadow Hills, and of course, they have some very good programs and at a faster pace. But there's also a cost that's usually a little bit higher to that. So keep that in mind. Not only do we have different programs at COD, uh, depending on the needs or wants of the students, okay, we also have a variety of support services. So I'm going to just kind of briefly talk a little bit about the To help our students succeed, we have a number of different services from tutoring, library resources. We have student life and other activities for our students. We, of course, have the counseling center, career, and we're going to hear more from Ms. Ana Hernandez in a bit, general counseling, transfer center. We also have a many other resources for our students from our veteran students, our disabled students, different programs to really support the success of every single student that comes to College of the Desert. Within
One of
the
the
programs that we have,
one of the things I was going to say, Mr. Simo, is the fantastic part that you were talking about is the price of College of the Desert. It's just very, very cost effective for everybody. I'm one of those guys that's still paying for loans, 20 years after college. So it is definitely beneficial to go to College of the Desert and the cost and so forth.
absolutely. Like I said, I, I'm not just a representative of College of the Desert. I'm also um, a client, right? So
There you
it's
go.
really important. I also wanted to mention that at COD, we have many different programs. And I mean, I can scroll down and gosh, it's ongoing. Okay. But I just want to point out a couple of things for our parents to be aware. So, for example, here's administration of justice. And within administration of justice, if a student wants to do a certificate,
Hmm.
and learn something about law enforcement and get into law enforcement, they can do it with a certificate. No English, no math, no general education. They can earn a certificate and have a better lifestyle with a career, a job that's going to pay more. If a student wants to earn an associate's degree for transfer within administration of justice or criminal justice, they can do that and they can have a 2-year degree. And now they're going to have more opportunities and opportunities for promotion within the field of law enforcement. And if a student wants to do an associate's degree and transfer to a 4-year university like Cal State San Bernardino, UCR, or any other campus, and continue on with their criminal justice education and baccalaureate degree, then they would be following the degree for transfer, which is over here. So again, we have something for everyone. And I know that a lot of students sometimes say, I just want something short, something quick. And that's okay. We can start with a certificate, but there's nothing to stop them from going on to a vocational degree or a transfer degree down the road. And that is something that's, I think, is really important to kind of keep in mind that the opportunities are there and the doors are open and you can go as far, your children can go as far as they want to go. And of course, I as a parent, even when a student comes and they're talking about vocational programs, I'm happy to talk about them about that. But at the same time, I do encourage all students to try and do more, especially before they get married, before they have kids, before they have to pay mortgage. This is the time for them to do all of this when they're young and before they have all those other extra responsibilities that makes life a little bit more complicated. And I also,
That's great advice, Mr. Simo. Thank you. Pardon me. That's wonderful
yeah,
advice. And what that does too is it plants the seed for lifelong learning. And that's part of our partnership with you, and we're very grateful for that. So thank you.
absolutely. And so I also want to talk about the Edge Pledge program at COD a little bit. College of the Desert is committed to making sure that every single student that graduates from a local high school or our service area, a 2-year free education. And that means that if the student and the family qualifies for financial aid, they're not going to pay any tuition. If they don't qualify for financial aid, they still don't have to pay any tuition, right? And so as a counselor, I guess I'm considered middle class family. We had absolutely no financial aid, and that's the difference why when my daughter attended COD, we had a zero balance. And when my daughter went on to university, it was about 2,500 a month. And I don't make that much. I, it's not quite it was a little bit more as far as the family and what we had to do. Of course, we were very happy to have her go to Cal State Long Beach, and we're very proud that she graduated from the university with her degree. And now we're going to be happy to help her pay her loans, which is what families do. The pledge program, it's very simple. We ask the students to attend a summer bridge program. That program just prepares them to be ready for college. We ask them to participate in 10 hours of community service. And right now with COVID, we may not even enforce that. And they can do anything, including babysitting their own siblings or maybe cousins or anything they want to do. It's very flexible right now with, of course, the COVID pandemic and where we're at. And we do require the students be full-time, 12 units or more, 4 classes. But even if a student, because of family issues, having to take care of their kids at home right now, when many of our families many of our students have younger siblings at home as well. If anything needs to be done to adjust, the college and the pledge program is happy to work with our students, making sure that we meet their needs. Again, we're here, we're in your backyard, we have great opportunities, a little something for everyone. And the most important part is that we want our students to be successful. And so, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to provide this information. And I hope that, I know we're going to have some questions at the end, and we'll be here to answer any questions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Simo. We're very, again, grateful for your partnership, for your sage wisdom, both as a parent and as a client. And you're absolutely correct. We continue to just support our children and help them with their loans during these really challenging times. My own daughter, she unfortunately had lost her job in the spring, and she's just doing her best. And we said, we're here for you, and we're all going to get back on our feet, and this too shall pass. And you give us much hope, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Simo, and it's great to know about all these programs that are right here in our backyard. So thank you, and I greatly appreciate you taking your time tonight. I believe we're going to go ahead and have you leave screen for now, and we have Mrs. Hernandez, Ms. Hernandez, who's going to join us from Cal State. Oh, I'm sorry, from COD as well.
That's okay, Sean. Good evening, parents. Good evening, Sean. Hi, Dr. K. Hi, Mr. Eduardo. Always a pleasure to join you guys. I'm really excited. I'm also a parent of 2 awesome Shadow Hills High School students. One is senior and one a freshman. So I've known these people for a while. Yes.
The famous Trinity. She's the golfer. And her wonderful sibling.
Yes, you'll get to know him soon. So I want to, if you don't mind, Dr. K, sharing the screen for my presentation, please.
And it's all ready whenever.
There we go.
Okay.
Perfect. Let's see. Let's go back. That's okay. That screen works great. So I wanted to first start off with sharing with you guys a little bit about our CTE programs. Unfortunately, our CTE transition specialist, Prudence Chase, was not able to join us this evening, but I always like to highlight some of our CTE programs for the community because it's important for our students to know about these programs, and also our already established professionals that are already in the workforce that could take advantage of some of these CTE programs at COD. So some of you, or the majority of you, may have already heard the term career education or career technical education, or short CTE. So essentially CTE combines academics, hands-on instruction, and work-based learning for all of our students. All of our CTE programs do meet the current business needs and industry standards. And all of our CTE certificates are stackable, meaning that they are essentially embedded into the some sort of degree program. So students can go in and earn a short-term certificate, get out into the workforce and utilize that certificate, and potentially either continue going to school to then achieve that degree, or strictly going to the workforce. So it does give students quite the leverage in their education and being able to apply the theory out into the workforce. Next slide, please. Our programs of study, we do have over 30 transfer degrees at COD, over 40 associate's degrees, which do have an emphasis on employment preparation, which is really nice. And we have over 70 certificates. And what I really love about these certificates, just like Mr. Simo mentioned, is that not every student may necessarily be associate's degree and then transfer into a four-year institution. So those certificates do come in handy, and they do add value to our students that are ready to just get in and go out into the workforce. And again, as I mentioned earlier, they are great for career advancement for our professionals that are already in the workforce. Next slide. These are some of our popular programs, our arts and media, business, criminal justice. We have an amazing culinary program. And of course, our nursing program, which is highly competitive. Unfortunately, they're not going live just right now because of the current conditions, because we want to make sure that all of our students are safe and are out there in safe work-based learning environments. And of course, we have our public safety program as well.
And I'd like to point out, when I was at La Quinta High School with their career technical education programs, we worked closely with, I want to say 4-year programs there. And we sent students to all of them. And it was fantastic with our nursing, with your nursing program there. And the connection we had with our medical health academy was that they got points in your system. I believe there's a point system to apply for the nursing and so forth. And I'm sure with Shadow Hills High School, with their career pathways as well, you can do the same thing with integrating into COD programs. But it's just fantastic you guys are able to work with us on all those things, and know that the programs that are in the high schools, they can just, like you said, they're all stackable, right? So our kids in career technical education could get a job right now, or they could continue to stack on and get those other certificates, programs, associate's degrees. I just love the opportunities they have right here in our backyard.
Yes, absolutely. And it's always nice to see our K through 12 students coming out of high school, getting ready to just take out into the real world. And that's exactly what our employers are looking for. They want to hire candidates that have some sort of experience already under their belt. So CTE programs are definitely the way to go as well. Some new and emerging programs, we have our Building Energy Systems Professional Program, which includes architecture, construction, green energy, and HVAC. Cybersecurity is always one of our more popular programs as well, and it's going to continue to expand. Golf management as well. We just hired a brand new full-time golf instructor. So we're really excited to bring those additional courses in golf management to the community. And of course, our health sciences, including sports medicine, fitness specialists, pharmacy tech, and of course, our hospitality management program.
Wonderful.
I wanted to share Prudence's contact information in case the community wants a little bit more information. You can check out our website or contact her directly. Phone number and email address is on your screen, and she'll be more than happy to answer any CTE related questions for the community. And now the next screen will actually be work experience, which is my expertise. All right. Not very many students nor parents know that College of the Desert has a work experience program, which allows students to be able to earn transferable college units for their current job placement. And that job placement can either be a job, internship, volunteer position. Maybe they might work on campus, of course, not right now, or they might participate in the federal work study program. They can earn a maximum of 16 college units throughout their time at COD. And depending on whatever major or program they might be pursuing, work experience it can either count as an elective or as a requirement as part of their certificate or degree. Next slide, please. Students do have some flexibility for work experience. We do offer 2 different sessions throughout the semester. They can either enroll in 16, 12, or 8-week session. 8-week is typically during the summer because obviously it's a shorter term. And we do have general and occupational work experience courses as well, where students can choose, well, not necessarily choose, because it does have to align with whatever their current job placement may be. So general courses are available to students that currently have a job that does not directly align with their educational goal. And our occupational courses are for students that do have a job that does align with their educational goal as well. So there we have, I want to say, close to almost 50 different occupational work experience courses. And those different disciplines, anywhere from accounting all the way to auto technology, hospitality management, all across the board.
So for example, like at Amistad, they have the HVAC program over there. And if they graduate with that certificate over at Amistad High School, they can then continue with you guys to maybe take the HERS rating certificate, something like that. But also, just say they get a job with, just say, Hyde air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
They could count that job as towards college credit too? Is that what
Yes.
I'm understanding? Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh. So they're getting paid and getting 16 credits.
Throughout the 16, it would be the maximum. But,
Okay.
typically in any given semester, students would normally enroll in anywhere from 1 to the maximum of 8
Okay.
units per semester.
That's fantastic. That just seems like a no-brainer. Get paid to earn credits
That's
and get a
right.
grade for it, of course.
Right.
That's right.
And do what you love at the same time. That's wonderful.
Yes.
And you're getting that experience that'll make
Right.
it to the next level.
Absolutely. So students who participate in a work experience course, if you don't mind just doing one more click, I didn't realize that this particular slide has a little pop-up, and then another one, please. So students who participate, of course, they are earning college credit, but we need to figure out how many units and hours they're required to take. Title V Ed Code does indicate that students have to complete a minimum of 75 hours if they are engaged in a paid position. And of course, that table right there kind of just breaks down the different number of units and the hour requirement for this that the student has to complete by the end of the semester. Unpaid positions, because they are unpaid, we do require a little bit of a lesser number of hours that they have to complete. So if they want to achieve 1 unit, then they would complete 60 hours. 2 units, 120 hours by the end of the semester.
That's a great graphic, Ms. Hernandez. Thank you so much. And they can find that maybe on the website too, right?
Yes.
Okay, it just pops out and it's really linear. So I think it would make a lot of sense for folks. Great.
Yes.
Thank you.
And next slide. So work experience courses are classes that students would enroll just like any other regular class, but it's a non-traditional class, meaning that, of course, as we mentioned, they can enroll in different sessions. So let's say we have our students that start at the beginning of the semester. They may not have an internship or a job right at the beginning of the semester, but let's say they come visit our Career Center. We help them look for a job, they get the job, and maybe 4 weeks later, they're already placed. They can actually take the work experience course for the 12-week session, which starts 4 weeks after, and then earn those college units for that position. So we do partner pretty closely with our Career Center, which I'm going to share with you guys in just a bit, some resources. But definitely a great opportunity, and the flexibility is there. The course does meet a total of only 4 times throughout the semester, which oftentimes it works amazing for our students because we understand this is work-based learning. They are out there on the field working. They might be working full-time. Some students might have family responsibilities to attend to, and they might be carrying a full load of classes. So that's a lot to take on for a student. So they only meet 4 times, 2 times on campus, 2 times at the job site. And they are working on objectives. And unfortunately, because of COVID-19, all of our students, our instructors are meeting through Zoom, which it's actually has been working pretty well. Our employers are receiving those Zoom meetings quite well, which is good. So it gives the student an opportunity to be able to still participate in a class and know that they're getting the college units in the workplace. If you guys are familiar with Canvas, the course is entirely available on Canvas for the students, which means they can access the course content from any device that they might have at their fingertips. Next slide. I'm not going to go through every single one of these benefits, but I do want to point out a couple of things that students have shared that they have shared with us through the reflection papers that they have to turn in at the end of the course, that they have really benefited from the work experience class because it allowed them to discover new interests, especially as a freshman coming in and trying to figure out, okay, if this is my major, do I really want to major in that? Let me try this position. Maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't. And for the parents listening, you want to make sure that your student tries to make up their mind as quick as possible. Well, why? Financial aid. Or if you're paying out of pocket, you want to make sure that your student hopefully makes an educated decision as to what career path they want to go into. The other benefit is that, and this is actually one of my favorite ones, is that it helps students become more marketable and better employees. Why? Because part of the program is that students create 3 SMART learning objectives. So through the creation of those SMART learning objectives, they're actually expanding their knowledge in the workplace. They're becoming better knowledgeable. Some of them have maybe even requested to work on a special project that may add that extra bullet point on the resume that potentially can have them be considered for a raise or a promotion. So those are the kind of success stories that I really like to hear about at the end of the course when students submit their reflection papers. Next slide, please. So that's a lot of information about work experience, but I do also want to share with our community and our students that we, as I mentioned earlier, we do work closely with our Career Center. They offer amazing career counseling services, workshops, informational sessions. We bring in community partners to our career panels so that way students can engage with those professionals and ask those one-on-one questions that are so important. It can be simple as, what do I need to do to get in to obtain an entry-level position where you work? It gives them an opportunity to also network with our stakeholders in the community as well. And the Career Center also participates in tons of employer engagement, including myself and our assistant, where we connect our employers to the students through our COD Job Hub. That's what we call it. It's basically a free job board, which I'm going to mention in just a bit. And it gives employers an opportunity to post their jobs that they might have available. So that way our COD students can then see those positions on our job board and apply through our job board. And they're basically just tailored to our COD students. Thank you, Dr. K. So this slide here are two services, and the reason why I typically don't share this, but I didn't realize that we have tons of dual enrollment students at Shadow Hills and at other high schools as well. So the reason why I wanted to share this now is because all of our dual enrollment students by now should have a MyCOD email address and a student ID number. Or if you don't just yet, you will soon.
Oh, yes. That was a topic of conversation today. And so we know who you are. We're coming for you. And you are absolutely correct, Ms. Hernandez. And we have the most here at the school. We're very proud of that. Mr. Fajardo's worked very hard, and Mr. Clifford Smith has left his legacy. So we're going to continue. And then again, thank you for that partnership.
Yes. So the students that are listening, or if your student is a dual enrolled student, they can once they have that MyCOD email or in that student ID number, they can actually utilize these two free resources already. One of them is the Optimal Resume, which is a free platform that the college provides to students where they can actually create their resume. I heard Ms. Munoz earlier in her presentation talking about creating that resume. They can start using that Optimal Resume, creates a nice cover letter, resume, and they can actually, it auto-populates a URL number that they can actually share with an employer or with their teacher at the school, which is actually pretty neat. And they can start creating their own e-folio within Optimal Resume. And the reason why Optimal Resume and Job Hub complement each other is because the Job Hub, again, that's where they can go in and apply for jobs, and they can upload that resume on there, and potentially an employer might contact that student and say, hey, we're looking for a candidate. You seem to meet the criteria. We'd like to invite you for an interview. And it has actually happened quite a bit with some of our students that combine those two services together.
Another great graphic. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, contact information for us. I figured I wouldn't change the map, but I'm not sure if you guys can see it on the screen, but our building is next to the landmark, which is the famous Fountain of Knowledge at COD. So you can't miss our building. Contact information for work experience and our phone number is there. Please, by all means, feel free to reach out. And I'm sure I'll be seeing some of our Knights families out, football games and so forth. Can't wait to get out there.
You bet. Thank you so much, Ms. Anna Hernandez and Mr. Jose Simo from COD. Very, very grateful for your partnership and this wealth of wonderful information.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure.
Excellent. Thank you, Anna. We're going to now bring on Brenda from Cal State San Bernardino. And let's see here. Move there. And we also have your screen to share.
Oh, good.
And
we do.
Hi, Brenda.
Here we go,
Thank
Brenda.
you for your patience.
Hi, no, my pleasure. Thank you for having me here. Good evening to everyone
welcome.
joining us tonight. My name is Brenda Machuca, and I am an admissions counselor from California State University, San Bernardino. Fun fact about CSUSB.
I'm an alumni through the master's
I'm
program.
like, you can't hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, go Yotes.
Yeah. Go Coyotes.
That's a fun fact about yes. A fun fact about CSUSB is that we do have two campuses. We have our San Bernardino campus and we have our Palm Desert campus. So today we're going to be talking about both of those because even though my home office is here in Palm Desert, I do assist students wanting to attend either San Bernardino or Palm Desert. So let's go ahead and begin. So some of the things we're going to be talking about today is just a little bit more about CSUSB, the majors that we have to offer. We're going to be covering the admissions requirements because they are looking a little different this year for fall of 21. So we're going to be talking a little bit more about that, about campus impaction and how what that means to you for your students at Shadow Hills High School. cost, financial aid, housing and athletics, student services and resources, and a little bit more about the application. And again, a little bit more about our Palm Desert campus. But let's go ahead and begin. So we are the Coyotes. Our school mascot, is the Coyote. Our colors are black and blue. Our student population, both campuses combined, is at around 20,000 students. And at our Palm Desert campus, we have around 1,400. So if your student is looking for that private school, small school campus feel, then our Palm Desert campus is the perfect fit for them. We do offer undergraduate programs, graduate programs, teaching credential programs, and students can actually complete part of their doctoral program at Palm Desert as well. So we have it all. Our average GPA for our first-time freshman students is around 3.5. That doesn't mean that students are required to have that GPA. It's just an average. We are a very military-friendly school, so if you are a military veteran, we have a lot of extra resources for students at both of our campuses combined. But my favorite fact about CSUSB is that 81% of our students are first-generation college students. That is a big percentage.
I'm guessing you get a ton of avid students then.
We do, and I am a former avid student as well.
Look at that.
So those are near to my heart.
So when I was a Cal State student, I was an avid teacher at Palm Desert High School.
Oh, yes, nice. He was, and he was outstanding avid teacher, man.
Oh, quit it.
And so because we have so many first-generation college students, we have a lot of great resources. We want to help, our first-gen students navigate higher education. And so we really do have a lot of great resources. And so many that our students who are not first-generation can also benefit from them. So we have a lot of academic advising, workshops, and different sessions to assist our students navigate higher ed. Another fun fact is, again, we do have those two campuses, Palm Desert and San Bernardino. We are about an hour and 10 minutes away from each other. And another cool thing about that is that when students apply to CSUSB, they can actually get considered for both campuses at the same time. So they really only need to submit one application and they will be considered for both. We do have programs at Palm Desert campus, and if a student if the major is offered at PDC, they can begin and complete the whole program here locally. However, if the student wants to begin here locally and then switch over to San Bernardino, they can. They wouldn't have to transfer because they are already part of our CSUSB family. All they would need to do is that once your student is ready, they would just simply register for classes in San Bernardino, and that is it. They can also switch back. If they start off in San Bernardino but want to end up at Palm Desert, they can do that as well. Another resource that we have for our students is a shuttle. So we do have a shuttle that takes our Palm Desert campus students to San Bernardino and brings them back at no extra cost to the student. All they have to do is show their Coyote ID card to the bus driver, and that's it. They get on the bus. We're currently working with Sunline to be able to establish more routes going out, and I believe that it's going to be starting off in January. And so if your students are attending San Bernardino and they want to come home for the weekend, they can jump on the Sun Bus, come back home, pick them up at the Palm Desert campus, and they're home again at no extra cost to the student. All they have to show is their Coyote ID card. So there's a lot of these are ways that we can keep both campuses connected. CSUSB is an impacted campus. And what that means is that we have too many qualified students and not enough space for everybody. However, every CSU has their local and non-local service area. Local and non-local means that we give preference to a certain group of students depending on where they go to school. And Desert Sands Unified School District is part of CSUSB's local service area. So any student in Desert Sands Unified School District, we give priority to, which means that the admissions requirements that we are going to be asking from them are going to be different than from students who are not part of our local service area. That means that we are going to expect to see around a 2.5 GPA when we're reviewing those applications from students in our local service area. Within CSUSB, we do have 5 impacted majors, and those 5 majors do have higher admissions requirements, which means that they will require a high GPA for anyone who applies. Those 5 majors are criminal justice, social work, kinesiology, the allied health professions track. That is a major and the concentration a student wants to declare if they want to go into physical therapy. So that is the one that is impacted. Psychology is impacted, as well as our nursing. Nursing is impacted everywhere. Not just as CSUSB, as you just heard from College of the Desert, that is one of their more popular programs there as well. So our university is made up of 5 different colleges. Those are our more popular majors listed on there, but it is not a complete list of our majors. We have over 70 programs and degrees, and to see a complete list of majors, you can visit our website, csusb.edu, and you will be able to see a complete list of programs for both our Palm Desert and our San Bernardino campus. So the majors that are listed on the screen right now, the ones with the paw print are the ones that are offered at our Palm Desert campus. The ones in red are the impacted majors. So another thing about PDC, I love Palm Desert, is that we now have 4 new majors, 4 new programs that are offered for our students here locally. And those are administration with the entrepreneurship concentration, administration with that hospitality management concentration, and actually administration with hospitality management is only available at our Palm Desert campus, and that is because of our location. We are a tourist hotspot. Our community needs more people in this field with these type of degrees. And so now we have a hospitality management program that is currently not impacted. One of the only programs in the state that is not impacted, just because this program is in high demand in other institutions. So it is now offered only at our Palm Desert campus. We have design studies, we have information systems technology with the cybersecurity concentration. And actually, a quick note on that, cybersecurity, our cybersecurity program is one of the top programs in the nation. Yes, so Dr. Coleman, the one that you see up on the screen there, was the one that actually wrote the curriculum for a lot of different institutions. We were given money by the federal government to go out into different colleges and help them establish their cybersecurity programs. This program does have a lot of financial aid opportunities for their students. There is a scholarship that is given to students where if they get this scholarship, it pays for the rest of their tuition, and they get a stipend for room, board, everything else. They get everything pretty much covered. The catch there is that they will have to work with the government for the same amount of years that they received this scholarship for. But I see that as a good thing because the students end up with a job already lined up. They finish their 2 or 3 years with working with the government, and after that they have job experience. So it's up to them if they want to continue in the public sector, if they want to go into the private sector. This is actually one of the programs that I can truly say has a 100% job placement, because our program is such top notch that our students get picked up real quick. So cybersecurity now available at our Palm Desert campus, and kinesiology, exercise science is also available here locally. And actually, here's a quick clip of our Dr. Colson, and he is the one that wrote this curriculum. We have one of the top faculty members in the nation. So let's hear a little bit more about him.
Nothing makes me prouder than when a student comes up to me and says, "Tony, I got my first job offer." But these days, it's become more challenging because it's not just, "I got one job offer." It's, "Tony, I have 3, I have 4. What do I do?" These are students from a regional university that are competing against students from national universities, the names that we all know. And we are able to show that our kids are that good. At Cal State San Bernardino, a lot of students attend here because of economics, and I attended here because of economics. I was putting myself through school, and it quickly became apparent that these are my people, right? These are the people, I was like these kids. That was part of what motivated me to stay here, was just experiencing the students, experiencing their curiosity, saying, you know what, they're a lot like I was when I was that age. And what can we do that's exciting and different? And as a result, we've created incredible programs. We've capitalized on the demographic that goes here. And we created from nothing a world-class cybersecurity program. And we're finding our students can perform at extremely high levels. Here, Cal State San Bernardino was funded to be a cybersecurity national resource center to help lead 238 colleges and universities nationwide. But what it really means to be a cybersecurity national resource center and to also be a center of academic excellence in cyber defense is it means opportunity for students. It means that the faculty, the university has shown and has a track record of having the resources and the programs together to be incredible. And our students are able to take what we have and turn it into something that is beyond my wildest imagination. Cybersecurity is a national concern. My passion in it is I wanted to create a world-class program, make a difference, but also make the world a safer place.
So that is cybersecurity for you. You don't have to be a computer expert to go into this program or to try it out. They do allow you to start taking some courses within the major, and if you like it and if that is your passion, then Dr. Colson will allow you to continue and complete the cybersecurity program. Again, it's now available at both of our campuses. Now let's talk about our admissions requirements. So our admissions requirements for our first year students are the ones that appear currently right now on that screen. They do look a lot different this year because this year the whole Cal State system is going to go test blind. What that means is that for fall of 2021, CSUSB will not be looking at the SAT or ACT test scores for admissions purposes. If the student has already taken these exams and they have test scores, we highly still encourage students to report those on their application and to send us their official test scores, because we will be using them for placement in math and English. Now, if the student hasn't taken the exam, that is fine. We will be taking other measures in order to place students in math and English courses. Now, all of the CSUs are going to be looking at A through G completion and college prep courses complete, how many college prep courses a student has taken, as well as the GPA in those A through G and college prep courses. Now, when it comes down to the next attributes we're going to be looking at, it's going to differ from CSU to CSU. So if a student is interested in a different CSU, I highly encourage them to start reaching out to their admissions team and asking them about what other attributes they're going to be considering for their multi-factor admission score, which is what we are calling it this year. So that multi-factor admission score is going to be a combination of the GPA, A through G or college prep courses, as well as these other factors listed there. CSUSB is going to be considering the following ones listed, which is if the student is a local or non-local student. So you just learned that all Desert Sands Unified School Districts are local to CSUSB, so they will get additional points for that. If the student has taken AP, IB, honor courses, or if they're participating in dual enrollment programs with College of the Desert or any other institution, if the student is low income, if the student is a first generation college student, and any extracurricular activity the student is participating in, whether it be a club, volunteer hours, if the student is working. We're going to be looking at the student and everything that the student is doing to calculate this multi-factor admission score. And this is how we're going to be determining if the student is eligible for the university or for the impacted major. So if you have more questions about this, I will be dropping my contact information towards the end in the slide. Please reach out to me. I am open to schedule one-on-one appointments with you, your students, or your families, and answer any questions you might have. So the cost of CSUSB is not bad at all. If you start comparing tuition prices with other institutions, you'll see that we are an affordable CSU. Tuition a year at Cal State San Bernardino is $6,982, and we estimate that the cost of attendance at CSUSB San Bernardino campus, and this calculation has housing, room and board, books, and transportation included, is around $21,000. Of course, if a student stays here locally, they will have to just worry about that tuition, and then whatever transportation costs they might have. Books, of course, would be separate as well. However, we do highly encourage students to apply for FAFSA or the California DREAM Act. That application is also currently open already, and I'm sure your high school counselors will be having workshops to assist your students fill out these applications. But 70% of our students get their tuition covered entirely by just purely financial aid. We have a lot of scholarships. CSUSB does have over 200 scholarships that we give out to our students every single year. And if the student is going to be pursuing a program at our Palm Desert campus, we have another set of 40 scholarships because it will be attending PDC that will be considered, that they will be looked at for. It's only one application. It is a lengthy application, but I highly encourage your students to fill that out. That application will open up in January. And if your student applies to CSUSB, I'm their admissions counselor. So I will be following up with them, making sure that they don't have any questions, that they, are turning in everything in as needed, and just pretty much guiding them through that admissions process. So I highly encourage your student that if they do apply, be on the lookout for my emails, because I will be reaching out to them.
Well, Brenda, that's the selling point, because you're going to be their most ardent cheerleader too. So
yes, I'm with them until they register for orientation, and even at orientation, I'm still there. So I really do love what I do, and I love helping students. And so, yes, if the student applies to CSUSB, I will guide them through that process. Another scholarship that the Palm Desert campus gives out every single year for students that have a 3.5 GPA or above is that University Legacy Scholarship. So that University Legacy Scholarship is given to students who are high achieving students. It doesn't matter we don't look at their income. We want to see their GPA. And if they do get awarded this scholarship, it's pretty much a full ride for our Palm Desert campus. We cover their tuition for the entire 4 years. So we highly encourage students to apply. That application, again, will also open up. That one actually opens up in March, and it is a separate application. So if we have students that apply to CSUSB, will make sure to let them know about this opportunity, as well as the other scholarships as well. So here are the different services that CSUSB has available, similar to other institutions. We have academic advisors. We have an amazing career center. We do have dens at both of our campuses. We do know that a lot of our students suffer from food insecurity. And so these dens, students can go in, grab groceries, grab toiletries, and take them home, and we ask no questions. So we really do want to make sure our students have all the tools that they need to succeed, including meals. So both of our campuses have those dens. We do have services for students with disabilities. So if there are extra services a student might need, both of our campuses are ready to provide students with those services, as well as the Educational Opportunity Program. We do have housing at our San Bernardino campus. Palm Desert does not have housing, so students will have to commute. But we do have 4 different villages. We have 2 villages with on-campus dorms, 1 of our on-campus apartments, and 1 with off-campus apartments. We don't require students to live on campus their first year. It is optional, and students can bring their cars their first year as well. I know that's a question that I often get asked. So yes, students can drive. They don't have to live on campus, but it is highly encouraged, especially if they will be attending our San Bernardino campus, because studies show that students who live on campus do better in school. We do offer sports. We're in the NCAA Division II, and those are the sports that we offer for men and for women. And just a reminder, the application opened last week, and this year it will be closing December 4th. CSUSB will be hosting multiple application workshops through the month of November, every Monday in November. So I will be sharing these links with our counselors so they can share them with the students, and they can sign up if they need help. Again, the application closes December 4th. Don't wait until the last minute to submit that application. If you have questions with that application, if you're filling it out right now, feel free to schedule a one-on-one appointment with me. My appointments are 30 minutes long, and I can answer any questions you might have in regards to that app. It is intimidating, but I know it like the back of my hand.
Well, excellent. Thank you very much for all that information, Brenda. That's great.
Yeah, and then just some of our upcoming events are listed there. Preview week is happening next week.
Thank you.
And then,
wonderful.
This information I'm pretty sure your students already know, but I want to get to my contact information page, which is right there. So if you need to get a hold of me, please email me or give me a call. And if I don't answer and you need someone to pick up Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, call our admissions office at our San Bernardino campus. We always have an admissions counselor answering calls.
Okay.
Thank you.
Outstanding, Brenda. Thank you so much. Gosh, I remember when they built the Palm Desert campus here locally, Mr. Webb, and it was just an extraordinary opportunity, and it's grown and flourished, and here you are. So thank you.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Brenda. I believe now on deck, we're going to have Grand Canyon University.
Yes, indeed. And I think they should have their PowerPoint too. I hope.
I believe Sydney's going to be sharing her screen with us.
Oh, terrific.
And
hi, Jeannie. Hi, Sydney. Hi. Thank you for your patience too. We've run a little bit later, and I hope everybody is still hanging in there with us because last but not least, a really neat opportunity, Grand Canyon University, our online, private, and the special things that you offer. We're so excited to hear.
Okay, and there is their screen. There we go.
So Sydney's the one doing the presentation. I don't see her on the screen yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sydney's doing the presentation. Sorry. I got you guys mixed up here. I thought you were doing the presentation. Sorry about that.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, Sydney. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure. I'm trying to work out a way to get all the headings out of the way. Oh, my apologies.
No problem. What you can do is, it looks like you're on a Mac. I believe you just share the application rather than. Oh,
yes, I am on not a Chrome. What am I saying? I'm on a Surface, if that helps.
Okay, I've never really worked with a Surface.
Okay, no worries. It was just up. I'm so sorry. Oh, technical difficulties. Nothing beats them.
That's okay. We're all used to it. It's not a problem. And you're doing great, and you're smiling, and we'll get it.
Try this.
Whatever you had up to, we can work on through that. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. You know what? We might just have to roll with it. It is not. I'm not able to unless I can try this. Can you guys still see me if I do this? Is the headers gone?
Yep. We're good.
Okay.
We're good to go.
Well, hello, everybody. Like I said, good evening. Thank you for just staying with us throughout this awesome hosted call by our lovely team and family at Shadow Hills High School. My name is Sydney Marie. I am the local admissions counselor with GCU out here in the Coachella Valley. I cover everything Palm Springs-wise. That does include Blythe. So our awesome students out in Blythe as well fall under my umbrella. I do work directly with Miss Jeannie as well. She is my awesome colleague, and she kind of oversees the high school faculty's end of education. Really quick, I do want to ensure we're all on the same page that we do have a ground campus. That is what you guys are seeing right now in the background of this little introductory slide. So we are located in Phoenix, Arizona. However, we are very well known for our online schooling and just counterpart as well. So we do have dual offerings as far as that goes. But as far as this presentation, I will be covering mostly on campus, meaning our physical ground campus in Phoenix, Arizona. Yes.
Sounds good. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. You're so welcome. So let's jump right into this. There's not going to be any videos today, but just for time purposes, everybody, I'm not going to cut it short in any way, but I will be blazing through these slides. At the end, we'll include all of my contact information that I'm happy to go into further detail with you guys. Again, I just want to make sure everyone's able to get some dinner in and, still get the nitty gritties, but give you like the summed up nutshell version. Again, I'm happy to go into further detail and connect with you guys one-on-one. So jumping right in, Our lovely motto is find your purpose at GCU. And really quick, I would like to say that I am an alumni of GCU as well. I'm not sure if you guys can see my degree behind me, but
I definitely see a degree up there.
Yes, yay. I did graduate in 2019, spring of 2019. So definitely still closer rather than farther away. And that I'm very happy about. The day I won't recognize anyone on campus will be a sad one. But I graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Communications and a minor in Advertising and Graphic Design. However, the grind does not stop there, guys. I'm actually a continuing graduate student right now from the comfort of my home in La Quinta, still studying online with GCU for my master's degree now. So yay, little shoulder shrug for continuous educational journeys. But any questions whatsoever, I'm happy to go into further detail with you all. So
Sydney, are you a graduate of Desert Sand Schools since you live in La
No,
Quinta?
great question. I'm actually born and raised from Hawaii. So I was a complete out-of-state student when I had made my way to GCU.
Okay.
So yeah, I am very new to the Valley. I've only lived here for just about, maybe we're approaching a year and a half after Phoenix. So that little bit best of all worlds with that said. But jumping right in to this slide. So as you guys can see, I'm just gonna quickly go over these quick tidbits. So our application is live for fall 2021 students. Our application is free $99, which is awesome. I definitely know the pains of applying with the Common App, and those $50 per app adds up very quickly. So the fact that ours is free is one less obstacle that you guys have to worry about, but we are just as affordable as a state university, and we don't have any impacted programs actually or secondary applications. So that's some really good notes I want you guys to asterisk. I know our lovely other member on this call representing Cal State San Bernardino, she listed the impacted programs, and not at all that that's a bad thing or anything, but just another thing to outline that by no means, although not impacted, we're still very competitive. So I'm happy to go into further detail about that too, but that is one thing I like to make my students clear about when, just going through the college search and looking at universities in state, locally within California, but also broadening their scope just a little bit too. There's a lot of options out there. After that, we are ranked 7th best college campus by Niche. In case you guys are familiar with Niche, they're really awesome, and they actually take into account all student voice. So super, super cool with that said. 75% of our undergraduates actually complete their program in 3.5 years or less. In case you guys didn't know, it actually, on average now, takes at least 5 years to complete an undergraduate program nationally. So crazy, crazy stuff. We offer all our programs at the standard 4-year rate, but again, 3.5 years or less is definitely a green light in my book. So again, just a good tidbit for you guys. When it comes to application, we're very, very hands-on. So I'm talking especially in my fields medically, pre-med, any biological or health study. It's super, super important, and not only that, but essential for hands-on application to be incorporated within your program. So that's just one of them. I'm also, of course, speaking on nursing, engineering, any of our technology degrees. You guys, I'm sure, get the gist as far as the importance when that's incorporated. There is no out-of-state fees, even though we are a private university that isn't located in California, like we just went over. So because we're a private university, there is no difference between in-state and out-of-state tuition. So again, just a good thing to note. When it comes to our admission and scholarship process, we're pretty quick. We try to cut out the waiting game if possible. So I'll go into further detail about that later in a couple slides post this one. So last but not least, because we are located in Arizona, we don't actually abide by the A through G requirement. That's strictly to California universities and institutions. Jumping through to our communities. So a couple of these 6 sides, so hexagon, hey. This is a little tidbits of just a look of what our community looks like on campus. So I want to hone in on not only this guy slacklining, but that does happen. Slacklining and hammocks are very standard on campus, especially right now at this time of year while everything's cooling down. But I also want to zoom into the student section right here. That's our Havocs. Those are our student cheerleaders, so to speak. They are our, biggest fans and celebrators at all of our athletic games. They definitely, show whose home or whose house the other opponent team is in. So we really appreciate them. SB Nation actually named them the biggest party in college basketball, which I think is really funny because, again, we're a Christian university. So, we like to bring the fun, even if that's just solely cheering on our teams. So
what division are your athletics?
Sure, we're D1 NCAA.
Oh, okay.
In the Western Athletic Conference. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Awesome. This is a little overview of our housing on campus. All of our housing is directly located on campus. And with that said, we are an enclosed campus. And what that means is essentially there's a huge gate bordering all of our perimeters. That way, when it comes to the public, our security takes it pretty seriously. I mean, this is for each and every student's safety on campus, but public isn't able just to walk onto campus because they want to. We do have a lot of measures in place in order to prevent situations like that. But here's another little overview of what housing looks like. So when it comes to dorms on campus, we have what we refer to as a suite style, meaning there's always 2 bedrooms that have their own separate full bathrooms and walk-in closets, but share a living room between the 2. Here's a little insight on what those bedrooms look like. This looks like a double occupancy, but we also have apartments on campus as well. And for that one, every student has their own room. They'd be sharing a bathroom with one other person, and there's a fully furnished kitchen and unfurnished living rooms. So roommates can communicate with each other as far as what they'd like to bring to decorate the living room. But really quick, when it comes to amenities with housing, so what's really cool, and again, I was a student at GCU, so this is something that was like a total game changer for me, not only as a female, but just in general, because I definitely took part in making that college shopping search a good one. But our amenities when it comes to housing includes a pool, a fitness center, and a LopeSmart. And a LopeSmart is essentially a convenience store. So you can use your dining dollars there. They have everything from toiletries to snacks to a little section for produce. But it's really awesome that you don't have to cross campus to go find one of those 3 amenities. There'll always be one locally centralized near you. So just another cool highlight.
I like to point out, I went to Cal State for my master's program, but I went to University of Buffalo for my undergrad. There wasn't a swimming pool anywhere nearby whatsoever.
Yeah, well, I went to the University of Minnesota. We had tunnels. That's
same here in Buffalo. We never had school canceled because we had the tunnels. Yeah.
Whoa. See, from Hawaii, I can't.
You can't even imagine, right? You can't even, you don't know what that means.
I'm trying to visualize it, but I'm like,
clear your head. Don't even go down that road.
Yeah.
You're like, do not. Well, awesome. Thank you guys for those add-ins. After, we're just going to do a little overlook as far as our dining options go on campus. So here's a little overview of, I'm sure we're familiar with a bunch of these. As far as the ones that you guys may be a little less familiar with, GCBC stands for Grand Canyon Beverage Company. This is our coffee brand on campus. So really, really awesome. My freshman year at GCU, so 2015, this was actually an idea that was pitched by a graduating business student at the time. So they're like, why do we have Pete's Coffee when we can just have our own? So that's essentially what happened. That student became a graduate student and was hired on as the general manager to really just, hone in and harness that mission. So the motto is for students by students, because essentially all the proceeds and funds that are profited off of GCBC goes back into improving the school's infrastructure. And by that, what I mean is, okay, what renovations or what additions is needed for campus regarding our students that will best, benefit them. Situations like that. So I was even a tour guide as a student on campus. That's why I have just a wealth of knowledge to share. But when I even figured that out, I was like, whoa, like that's super, super cool. As far as, again, just tying in the student voice, that's definitely one major theme on campus. But we do have 2 Chick-fil-A's in addition to that. So just another fun one. I guess we're one of the few college campuses with a Taco Bell on campus. And that was another one. At the end of every year, students do take a survey as far as what things they'd like to keep and what things maybe they won't miss as much. And Taco Bell was one of the restaurants in running for years on years, but we're like, okay, if we're going to bring it, one major thing is the dollar menu. So that was still able to happen on campus. So major thumbs up. But I will tell you guys, I have never waited 45 minutes at a Taco Bell before for a Crunch Wrap until it came on campus. But hey, it was needed for, making and marking that experience.
Well, we're definitely hungry now, Cindy. Thank you.
I know. I'll move the slide just so we're, just so we can move on. She's like, cool. Well, we do have a couple more, so hang in there with me, guys. This is a little overview of our athletics. So as I answered earlier, we are Division I. We participate in the Western Athletic Conference. We have 21 teams, both men and women, that we offer in this tier. As you guys can see, our arena for soccer and lacrosse does seat just about 7,000, as well as our basketball arena, standing room only, maximum 7,700, which is that far left top hexagon right there. So just an overview, right, of our different facilities when it comes to athletics. But say maybe you're the student who's like, I was always involved in sports, but I think when it comes to college, I want it to maybe take this passenger seat in life. That's when I would suggest the club sport level. This is kind of the best happy medium for, like I said, that student who doesn't want to maybe not be involved anymore, but doesn't want it to be their whole life. So for this one, you do still have to try out. You aren't receiving scholarship in comparison to being a student athlete, but you'll still practice and have travel opportunities to compete against other universities' club sport teams. So really fun. Under that, we have our intramural sports, and this is strictly participation. We have different levels, both friendly and competitive, because believe it or not, people are still very competitive in intramurals, which, hey, I hand it to them. I get it, but we do need to pump the brakes a little bit when we're doing intramurals, just personal experience, but still a really great time. With that said, moving on to faith. So really quick, we are interdenominationally designated for Christianity on campus, which essentially means that you don't have to be Christian to come to our campus and be enrolled as a student. However, in that same respect, we do ask that, while you are on campus and surrounded by a Christian atmosphere and community, that same mutual respect is had, right? So we're all just trying to encourage one another in whatever way, shape, or form that looks like. When it comes to chapel, we do host weekly chapels every Monday. And right now, I'm sure you guys can guess it, pandemic-wise, we are having many different, I want to say versions, but not necessarily options to attend. So whether that's online and remotely or in separate and various locations that we've kind of spread out just so not everyone's in the arena one time next to each other. So that's really awesome. Now we're going to dive right into the academic portion. So as you guys can see, we do have 9 colleges that make up our university. This screenshot on the right kind of gives you an overview of the top programs per each college. So I'm sure, say, engineering, of course, nursing, business administration, business management, Christian studies, advertising and graphic design, communications, justice studies, all that good stuff. Those are all going to be some of our top popular programs on campus. Absolutely. So really quick, let's dive into finances just a little bit. So overall cost, and I'm talking total cost of attendance, right? So tuition, room and board, books and fees, worst case scenario, out the door sticker price, private Christian education, we're looking at about $27,000 per year. And trust me, my eyebrows go so high when I see that because I'm like, yeah, and I've totally experienced that as a student myself, but this is before any FAFSA, any academic scholarships or anything like that. So the fact that that's just, one price wrapped into one, I know it's a big price tag, but you're definitely getting a lot more than just, of course, your tuition and classes and credit experience. So awesome. Jumping into scholarships now. So let's talk about a little bit of a subtraction sign. So this is a screenshot of our high school academic scholarship program. And let me explain this table to you guys just a little bit more. So when it comes to, of course, this is after being admitted to the university. So after filling out our application and providing me a copy of your unofficial transcripts and me setting up a phone call with you, informing if you've either been accepted or not. Now we're talking scholarships, right? So these are the 3 different areas I'm looking at when awarding student scholarships. So I'm looking at their weighted GPA, unless it's a 4.0 unweighted, and or their ACT score and or their SAT score. Student doesn't have to have all 3 of these factors per row in order to be eligible for that level of scholarship. I'm considering all 3 of these areas and going with the one that will provide them the most scholarship. So
Now, is that scholarship revisited every year based on their GPA, or is that just set at the first year and then they get that every year? How does that work?
Great question. So this is renewable, meaning, and this is specific, this is for select majors, but this scholarship is renewable, meaning it'll renew every single year within attendance up to 4 years. But this is going off their high school, again, those categories, their GPA, ACT, or SAT, but they do have to upkeep at least a 3.0 GPA at GCU to lock in that scholarship and keep it going.
Got it. Makes sense.
Yes. So you're welcome. For instance, say myself, I have a 3.7 weighted GPA, but I got an 11.25 on the SAT. So obviously if I was going just SAT, I'd only be eligible for, actually with an 11.25, not even the faculty, I would only be eligible for the Antelope Scholarship. But luckily, you know, I spent a lot of time on my grades and really put in my effort. So I'm actually gonna go with the weighted GPA on this one because that one will provide me the most scholarships. So of those 3 categories, I'd award myself in this specific scenario the Provost Scholarship of 6,400. $6,400 per year, renewable for up to 4 years.
Very nice.
Awesome. Okay, guys, so we're at the second to the last slide. So I know I kind of blazed through that, but again, if you guys are any parents or students online that are interested, please just whip out your phone and jot down this link. This is my counselor landing page, and at this page, you'll be able to provide some basic information, email, phone number, first and last name, maybe select a program you're interested in learning more about after this presentation. But this way I can make sure to follow up with you afterwards. Give it just a second. But my next slide will also include my personal work contact information as well, in addition to this.
So while the drum is rolling for that next slide, Sydney, you are just an energy ball. And I'm glad that you have this position in the panel to just bring it on all home, woman.
Yeah,
really to just present such a very upbeat and certainly unique experience for a lot of students. This will resonate with them and their parents as well. So bring it home, Sydney Marie.
Yes, guys. Well, I definitely want to say I have to give it to you guys as the Shadow Hills faculty team. A couple of my students who are already registered to attend GC for next fall 2021. Two of my already registers are coming from Shadow Hills High School. So I just want to shoulder shrug to you guys as a faculty team.
Very nice.
You know, looping those students in and ensuring they get in contact with me earlier than later. So I just absolutely have to give it to you guys.
Well, thank you. Good partner.
Yes. Awesome, guys. Well, at this point, if it works better to maybe whip out your phone and take out your camera and snap a photo of this slide, that works as well. That is my work email as well as my work cell phone direct number underneath that. In case, again, send me a text. Hey, I attended your presentation with Shadow Hills last night, and I'd like to learn more about X program for my student and our family unit, that kind of thing. I'm happy to follow up with you guys tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Yes, our application site is right there in the middle, and my rep code is B as in boy 1205. So we can ensure your application gets routed directly my way. But that was pretty much everything I had for you all this evening.
Wonderful, fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing all that great information there.
I couldn't see myself this whole time, so I hope I didn't look crazy, but thank you.
Beautiful.
You did a great job. Thank you very much, Sydney.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Have a great evening, everybody. Take care. Be safe.
You too. Thank you. I'll tell you what, Dr. K, you guys did a fantastic job with having some great counselors and recruiters from the different colleges. Your counseling staff did a fantastic job. Is there anything else that you guys have for us tonight?
Not at all. And Mr. Webb, we want to thank you and the foundation so much for hanging in here with us. We took an extra half hour. So quick, go grab your dinner. Families, friends, everybody who stayed on with us, thank you. Thank you, COD, our counselors, Sydney, GCU, and CSUSB. We are very, very fortunate to have all these wonderful partnerships, and certainly the support of Desert Sands Foundation, Mr. Sean Webb, Director. Thank you.
You got it, no problem. And the next time you want to do something like this, just let me know. I loved all the information that we're getting out to our families. You have a great one. All right.
Have a good night.
Yes, you have a good night. And Desert Sands family, thank you for watching. Well, you guys have a great night.